What's up, players? Welcome to episode 76 of Ready Press Play, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of video games. Every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases on all platforms, what we're playing, big topics of the industry, and the games we love. If you want to write anything to be read on the show, go to ReadyPlayNetwork.com or hit us up at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is June 25th, 2021, and I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and I'm joined today by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Daniel Lima.
Louis, I think this was the quickest time frame, like the quickest turnaround from us getting together to start our call on Discord to the point where we're actually recording the podcast. So I like the efficiency. I also like that I'm used to listening to our podcast at like 1.25 speed or something like that, and I feel like I'm already listening to it at that speed live. So
Yeah, I know we're on a time crunch here because of Dan's bitch ass, so it's gonna be a shorter show, but it's okay because you know what? I'm hosting and I get to. I think I'm better at hosting faster shows than Dan is. Just throwing that out there.
I agree with you. I have a hard time because at the end of the day, like I always want the quality of the show to be good. As in like if I think the discussion is going well and it's going interesting places, I have a really hard time like cutting it off. And I feel like you're a little bit better at that when you're hosting. But
Which is kind of
let's
crazy
go.
because I like longer shows and I like things to go on,
hmm
but you know, I just sort of like naturally feel it out. But yeah,
hmm
as far as one thing before we get on to like the actual show and before I get onto pleasantries is because I was so rushed, I didn't actually go get my controllers, but I got the new dual senses, both the black and the red dual sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
they're
cool.
they're like in the other room, so I can't show you. But I left them in the box, and I'm in this predicament where I want them to be like Virgin controllers forever. So I don't want them to be used, and so I left them in the box. I mean, now I'm in this predicament where, like, I don't know what to do. So luckily, there are no multiplayer like PS5 games right now, like unless I play like a PS4 game like Towerfall. But generally speaking, like I'm in this position where I don't know if I ever want them to be used because like all four of my DualShock 4s have some kind of wear and tear that's unique to them. And
Yeah.
also, I noticed that the DualSense, you know how like it's got like the haptic triggers or whatever, like the triggers that have the tension,
hmm
like on the like Fortnite with like the bow and the guns and stuff. There's a different like
Yeah.
haptic feedback is what they call it or something like that. Adaptive triggers, yeah, adaptive triggers. One of the things I notice is that when it comes to adaptive triggers, is that the tension on the triggers gets worn out the more you use it.
Mm.
So
Makes sense.
there's also reports of controller drift. I'm not experiencing it yet at all, but I also don't play the PS5 as much as I want to. But my concern is like, you know, when it comes to like, you know, wanting to experience like the next Call of Duty or the next Horizon with those adaptive triggers and stuff like that, by the time I get to those releases, it's not going to be like that fresh experience. And now
Right.
if I break the seal on those other controllers, it's just going to get worn out too.
You
So
know, I like to have two like active controllers, even playing by myself at all times, so that when one if I'm mid game and one of them dies, I can switch to the other one. Battery wise. I've had it happen multiple times now that I play Fortnite a little more, Lewis. That I've had my Xbox controller, die mid Fortnite match, and it's always like so stressful. I have to go and like switch to the other controller as soon as possible. But I've gotten pretty quick at it. I've gotten pretty good about doing it because it has happened at least like 3 or 4 times. Uh, when that happens mid Fortnite. But anyway, so that's
okay,
my suggestion.
all
I would
right.
take one of them out of the box.
Probably the black one. I think the red one is. I don't know. I think like the black reminds me of the DualShock. So
Hmm.
one last thing though before we move on, we had some quick housekeeping. So Dan, he guest starred on Ready Play Movies this week. So go check it out.
Oh yeah.
And I'll put a card up here on the top right corner, right over there. There's gonna link you to the actual YouTube video. So Ready Play Movies or Ready Play Network is the YouTube channel, and Ready Play Movies is the show where we're in it, and you get to see more of us hanging out and talking movies. I think it was a pretty good show too, by the way.
I would say people should definitely go check it out. We had some technical issues at the end, but the show up to the point where we started having the technical issues, I feel like was really good. I feel like we had like really good energy, really good chemistry. Um, And also, it was a pretty good show for me to be on because we got to talk a lot about Fast and Furious and stuff, which I'm pretty excited about.
You
It was
can.
a good time.
It's amazing how many times, how many different segments we talked about Fast and the Furious. By the way, it
I
came up
know.
in like multiple segments throughout the show, and I'm like, it was topic of the show. It was the new release. It was impressions, and like, yeah, like it was
It
news.
was
It was
everything. Yeah.
every segment.
I bet Troy loved that.
I don't know. I haven't talked to Troy about the episode, so I'll probably ask him later. But anyways, so yeah, go watch Ready Play Movies, and for all you audio listeners, it'll be in the show notes as well. And yeah, I think that's about it as far as housekeeping. So we'll go ahead and get onto it. Let's go ahead and move on to topic of the show. It's time for topic of the show. So, for topic of the show, we're just basically picking up where we left off last week. Last week's episode was basically almost an entire topic of the show, and we ran out of time. Like that's how insane it was. So we're gonna go ahead and tally up the points for who won the E3 prediction game that we did. So we have all the predictions, and Dan, I'm assuming that you're okay with me just throwing the doc up on screen, or do you want me to just leave it like the way we are right now?
I don't know. I guess it's up to you. I was gonna say that the comments that I added to the doc are not like a final like decision. It was more like I just wanted us to have a starting point.
Okay.
So I already put some thought into what I think each prediction should be worth.
Okay.
Um, but let's go through it together and see if we agree with everything. And you know what? It might actually be better to not have the doc on screen and just keep it amongst us,
Okay.
so that people don't get to see what the
All
what the
right.
possible results are before
Okay.
we don't spoil ourselves basically.
All right, so we'll just stick with this talking head thing going on here. So, no presentation for you guys, for you video watchers. So let's go ahead and start off with the Nintendo predictions, because obviously that's where our cup of tea is. I think we had like the most predictions on that front,
Mhm.
and we're gonna go ahead and see who wins. We'll win by category, and we'll win by overall. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all right. So for the first predictions, let's go over Dan's. You want to do them one by one, or do them like um, just in
We
two
can
bulk?
alternate.
Alternate?
We,
Okay.
yeah. And do you want to read them all, or should maybe I read mine, you read yours, or something like that?
You read yours. Go ahead and go first.
Okay. So yeah, I just want to give a quick disclaimer about this too, is that I broke down my predictions into so many different like sentences that I feel like it worked to my advantage. But we'll see how you feel about that, Lewis, because
Okay.
there's a lot that like maybe people would see it as wrong, but I'm like, well, but I got that part of it right. So my first prediction here is Nintendo will show only one new Smash character during the direct presentation. Lewis will be disappointed at the character, and it will be from a Nintendo first-party game and/or from a franchise already represented in Smash Brothers. In summary, it won't be an earth-shattering review.
So you
Now,
are only right about the part where it's only one new character. Because here's the thing,
mhm,
it's depending on if you're a Tekken fan or a fighting game fan, it is or isn't an earth-shattering reveal.
mhm.
But you are definitely wrong about it being first party or a franchise that's already represented, because Tekken. Well, technically Tekken is already represented in the Mii costumes, but as far as the fighting game roster goes,
Yeah,
not
no, I
represented.
meant the fighting
Yeah,
roster, but
yeah.
yeah.
So from that perspective, completely wrong. I'm gonna give you point 1 point. Let's see.
Well,
How many predictions you made? Okay, Nintendo, one character. Lewis will be disappointed. Wrong. First party and/or already represented. Wrong. Earth shattering. Kind of wrong. I guess 0.25.
Okay.
All right.
That's kind of how I look at it. I was like, I feel like it's worth 0.25 by the very easy part of the prediction, which is that they would only show one character. Despite the fact that some of the podcasts that I was listening to, people were predicting that they were going to drop
Two.
two characters,
Yeah.
one in the beginning, one in the end. So we were both right in predicting that that was not going to be the case.
Yeah, because that's what they did at E3 2019, where they dropped two
Hmm.
reveals. But at the time of the battle pass, it was like the middle chunk. It wasn't the end, and this is the last two. So they're not gonna like blow their load right here at E3 just for a pop off. They want to do it twice to get double the pleasure.
Hmm.
So I'll go ahead and just throw mine out here. Only one new character is being announced for Smash, and it's going to be Crash Bandicoot. So I get zero point 0.5 points for that one because I only made 2 predictions in that one prediction. So there you go. I'm already in the lead.
True.
All right, Dan, you're up.
Um, you know what? That was really quick. So why don't you give us another one of yours?
Okay. We're going to get a Breath of the Wild 2 deep dive with the release window of spring 2022. So this one's a little hard one because I don't think it was. I don't think I would consider what we got a deep dive. We did see a lot of footage with cool new mechanics, like him like being going through a wall or whatever. But as far as like seeing like, oh yeah, here's the new runes, or here's like a voiceover, like I was expecting like a really long extended first look, because I was assuming that the game is closer to release and we were gonna get like a big E3 blowout that we got for like Breath of the Wild 1 whenever it was its
Mm.
big blowout turn. So I was expecting something along that line, and also the release window is an entire calendar year of 2022, which most people are already writing it off as holiday 2022. So
Yeah.
spring 2022 isn't exactly outside of the realm of reason. Maybe they want to play fast and loose because they may internally want it to come out in spring, but they're not ready to commit to it. So I don't know. How do you want to score
Yeah.
this one?
So I was kind of being generous when I looked at it at first, and I was considering the deep dive as correct. But when you think about it, it's not, right?
It's a
Because
teaser, yeah.
they gave us. I feel like here's the thing: is like there is enough material in there to where the audience is going deep with it, right? Like so there are like trailer breakdowns and stuff like that
For
where
like an
people are
hour.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
yeah, like all these things and create all these fan theories and etc. But as far as what Nintendo gave us, what was it, like 3 minutes of footage from the game,
I
or
think like two
it
maybe.
was
Yeah.
yeah, it felt like 2 or 3 minutes. So you know what? I now that I'm thinking about it, it's a point five.
A point
I feel
five.
like it's a point five because we got something, but it wasn't fully a deep dive, and we got 2022, but it wasn't spring, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
I look at
So
like
okay, half
yeah,
a point. All right. I can give you that one. That's fair.
so yeah, let's do that.
All right.
I'm gonna take over here with my next one. A new Donkey Kong game will be revealed, but it will not be just another sequel to Country Returns or Tropical Freeze. This will be a more unique and new take on Donkey Kong, potentially with some open world elements, not necessarily a 3D platformer, but maybe a Metroidvania. I was really looking forward to seeing Donkey Kong, but we did not. Not at all. I still feel like this game is probably in development, in some way, but I guess this is a zero out of zero, zero, or 0 out of 0. That doesn't make any sense. That's like calculus right there.
You can't divide by
But
zero.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
0 out of 1.
Yeah, 0 out of 1. So yeah, that's just a no go for me there.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and kick things off with a Metroid Prime 4 trailer with gameplay. Now, what's interesting is that we did get a Metroid game with gameplay, just not Metroid Prime 4. Like, literally, it's like, oh, yeah, Metroid Prime 4 is totally in the works. Go, don't worry about it, Just, and on to other news, it's like, that, what's, like, that's literally what they decided to do with that. Like, I'm so surprised that they don't have enough something far along to show. Like it's been in restarted development for like what 2 years now, and
Two and a
whatever.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, actually,
what's up?
2.5 years since they officially announced that it restarted development,
Yeah.
right? So like it could have potentially started a little bit before that. And then on top of that, I personally, and this is a me thing, I do not believe on the whole like we scrapped the whole thing, we started from zero. I feel like they must have had like the other studio had been working on that game for like 3-ish years. They must have had something that Retro Studios could, go off of, right?
Assets, 3D models, something.
Like whatever, yeah, whatever, like there should have been something in there, like some skeleton of a game with like some gameplay that was just not fun, but that they could build upon to like make fun, make better, whatever. So yeah, I'm also surprised that we haven't seen this game yet, despite the fact that I did predict that we wouldn't see it. In fact, let me bring up mine here. I said Nintendo will still not show Metroid Prime 4 nor Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch, disappointing fans of the franchise. In fact, there will be no mention of Metroid at all during their E3 Direct.
Two
So I feel like,
two thirds.
Yeah, like I was right about there not being MP4, not being trilogy, but we did see a new Metroid game, Metroid Dread, which looks fantastic. I'm so excited for it. I think it looks really fun. I like that it has like this very unique art style and everything. But no, um, I don't know, like nothing from Metroid Prime 4 still, you know. Um, so I don't know. How do you want to score? Like, how do you want to score yours first, and then
Oh, I
mine?
was a
Like,
big zero. I didn't. We didn't get a trailer nor gameplay at all.
true.
So
Yeah.
zero. The fact when it comes to yours, I'm willing to say 2 out of 3. Like you got 2/3, like 0.67, because you were right that they did not show Prime 4, and there was no mention of no mention of Prime Trilogy.
You
As a
know,
matter,
there's a lot of people out there that are theorizing that Prime Trilogy has been done for a long time, but that they're just waiting for Prime 4 to be ready to show so that they can actually release Prime Trilogy like leading up to it. But I don't know, man. It feels like one of those things that if Nintendo had ready, I don't know why it wouldn't just put it out. So I actually question the very existence of that game because I think people underrate the work that it is to port a game over as well, especially a game like GameCube slash Wii series.
mm-hmm.
Like I don't think it's as easy as people think. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think it's what is it? My turn again? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I predicted that we're gonna get a new 3D Mario, like the new 3D Mario Odyssey sequel reveal. That did not happen in the slightest at all. So that's zero.
And then we only have your final one as well for Nintendo.
Ah yes. Actually, no. Don't you have another one? You have a Zelda 35th anniversary prediction.
Oh, good point. Good point. I missed that. Just quickly on 3D Mario. I also expected that, despite the fact that I didn't predict it. Like, you know, Nintendo's sure kind of taking their sweet ass time with some of these games. Like, the last Mario, the last mainline Mario game we got was in 2017. That was 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and we still have no idea what the next one is.
Yeah, and like what is
That's
it? In 3 months it'll be October,
yeah,
and then it's gonna be yeah, in 3 months, and just a little over three
yeah,
months, it's gonna be a 4-year anniversary of Mario Odyssey.
yeah.
So
So pretty crazy about that. And then Breath of the Wild 2 as well. Like by the time that game comes out, Breath of the Wild 1 will be 5 years at least.
yeah,
Yeah, potentially more. You
yeah.
know, so kind of surprised by that.
If it
But
hits
you know, Nintendo.
holiday, if it hits holiday 2022, it'll be 5 years from the DLC packs being completed.
Mhm.
So
And you know, Nintendo can take their time. They don't need to rush. They're not. It's not like the Switch is not selling and stuff. But
and Breath of the
I just
Wild
think it's
is
kind of surprising.
Breath of the Wild is
Hmm?
still selling for $60 too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, my final Nintendo prediction here was that to celebrate Zelda's 35th, Nintendo will not release a 3D game collection like people expect, which I was right about that one. However, they will announce a digital only unexpected Zelda spin off to be released within the next few months, something like Super Mario 35, and that was wrong.
Half a
I,
point.
yeah, I wish I had been more vague with that part of the prediction, because had I been more vague, and I could have maybe gotten a point from
From the Game and Watch.
the Game and Watch, yeah, because like I should have left it as like, but some Zelda spin-off thing will come out, right?
That's not
Like,
a spin-off. That's just a
that's
re-release.
true. I could have said a re-release, like some form of a re-release, because that was expected, right? I wouldn't have expected it on the Game and Watch, but
Yeah.
anyway,
And my final prediction is Mario Kart 9 was going to be revealed.
yeah,
Completely like I am a little disappointed in that one because like other than Mario Kart like live circuit or whatever like the actual like plastic toy Hot Wheel thing that they got going on, the Switch technically doesn't have a Mario Kart to call its own. It's just borrowing the Wii
yeah.
U's. So
And we got two new Mario parties in that time frame, by the way. I mean, we got one new Mario party, and then now we're getting another one, right? Because Mario Party came out in what, like 2018, 19? I feel
um,
like that Mario Party game is still
2018,
somewhat recent.
2018
2018, yeah.
because the same year as Smash, same year
Yeah.
as Smash Ultimate.
So we're getting a sequel to the Mario Party game that came out more recently before we're getting the sequel to Mario Odyssey or Mario Kart or Zelda or any of those. To be fair, Mario Party's probably faster to make, but
They got an
yeah.
engine, they got 3D models already made, and they're literally
Hmm.
remaking N64 courses and boards and game and mini games. So,
Hmm.
yeah. By the way, I've been seeing a lot of like reception on YouTube about that game. Everyone's a lot more happier about it. That's basically saying people. I heard somebody. Somebody said that it's basically Nintendo apologizing for the top 100 on the 3DS. So,
Hmm.
uh, but anyways, yeah. So as far as like the Nintendo section of things, let me see here. I got. I'm gonna get my little handy dandy calculator out here. All right, because I can't do fractions. All right, so 0.75 plus 0.67. Dan, you have 1.42 points out
Okay.
of four predictions, out of four
Yes.
points. Damn, I must be.
That's pretty. That's not too bad though. Let's get
Yeah.
to yours.
All right, let's see here. Math it up here. So I got 1 point
Yep.
out of five. By the way, I did
Yep.
five predictions, so I'm already hella screwed right now.
That's usually how those things go, unless you go like super obvious with it, you know.
I was being more hopeful.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was, me being negative about this E3 and having my expectations set really low actually paid off and winning the predictions game.
All right. So I only did five more predictions for Xbox, and you did three. So we'll go ahead and hit up Xbox. Dan, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go first since I have more Xbox predictions here.
That's good.
So my oh my god, I did so terrible. Microsoft. My first prediction was Microsoft will announce a new acquisition, likely an A tier acquisition, kind of hype but not really. S tier acquisitions being along the lines of what Sega and Gearbox would be like S tier. So I said something that's just that one level down below hype. Um, yeah, they did not announce any new acquisitions at E3 like they did
Yeah.
what last year's presentation or even the year before that at like the actual E3 2019. I was expecting them to get onto that little like virtual stage or like where that set that they were standing in is welcome, this company to the Xbox family. I was genuinely expecting that. I feel like that would have been a good time to like, tote someone out like they do at their other
Yeah.
shows. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that this might signify that maybe Microsoft is not going to cool off with their acquisitions?
I actually I don't think so. I mean, they're gonna cool off compared to buying like Bethesda and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they're gonna do more acquisitions of that level, but I think they're gonna continue to doing smaller acquisitions akin to like Double Fine or Ninja Theory or something. However, I feel like there may be they really wanted their E3 conference to be focused on games, like game trailers. Like when you think about it, I keep thinking about the Microsoft conference actually because I feel like from a live press conference format, I feel like they pretty much had a perfect like format of conference, like content aside, because that's more like that's hit or miss depending on what you're into. But as far as the format, the pacing and stuff like that, I feel like they had a pretty damn near perfect conference. And I feel like it was very focused on games. It didn't linger too long on almost anything. Some may argue maybe Stalker 2 a little like could be like 1 or 2 minutes shorter. Maybe Forza could have been 1 or 2 minutes shorter, but that's about it. And also, if you think about who was on that stage, like the amount of people that we saw on the Microsoft stage, we only saw like four people. And those people were Todd Howard was the first one. Then we got Pete Hines.
Bonnie
Then we
Ross.
got Bonnie Ross, and then with the other guy, I forgot his name, but he's like the creative director for Halo, the one they brought back. And then Phil Spencer at the end. So it's like they're not wasting our time, bringing in like random people to do like what feels like ads or whatever, like or going too long on these games that the majority of the audience doesn't care about. They were very much to the point, and the people that they had to showcase the brand were like the top tier people at Microsoft and Bethesda. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really cool from analyzing the conference format, right? I don't know why I went on this tangent. I don't think it's related to what we're talking about, but um,
But as far as
just
like,
wanted.
like bringing somebody up onto the stage, they weren't going to waste your time. Maybe that's the
Yes.
reason why
Yeah.
as far as pacing goes, maybe that's not the time to talk about like bringing on an acquisition, because it's no different than like Sony like announcing a Kickstarter for like Shenmue 3, because it's
Exactly.
all it is a promise, you know, like, and I
Right.
think they would want to show something more substance than a
Yeah, I feel
promise.
like they were trying to stay away from that, despite the fact that we did get plenty of like cinematic trailers and things that people didn't like. But I do feel like they were intentionally trying to stay away from this idea of like, oh, we don't have any games to show, so hey, we bought a studio. I feel like they really wanted it to be more like game, 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 game. Here's Pete Hines, then game, 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 game. Here's Bonnie Ross, game, game, game. It felt like a pretty good pace with that stuff. So.
All right, so that's a
Um,
0 for me. Dan, you're up.
Yeah, so let me take this one. During the Xbox conference, we'll see Halo Infinite gameplay for at least 10 minutes. It will look significantly better than it did last time, and we'll get a release date in November 2021.
Point
Now,
zero. I'm sorry. Point 333. There you go. One third.
so let's see. We'll see Halo Infinite gameplay for at least 10 minutes. So I was wrong about that because we actually only saw
1 minute.
we saw like a cinematic trailer and like 1 minute of gameplay from the multiplayer stuff, which
Yes.
weirdly enough they did another thing later where they showed more like a little bit more of a deep dive on the multiplayer, but that was not part of the Xbox conference. So I don't count that. um then I said it will look significantly better than it did last time. I think that's arguable. Like, I saw people say it looks so much better, but personally, like, I feel like I don't really see it. Like, to me, it still looks like the same game, and I don't say that negatively because I didn't hate on the first showing either. I feel like we saw some campaign, now we saw some multiplayer. You can't even really compare, right? Like, we saw different things, so I'm not sure about that. And then the release date, we did not get a release date, but it's still set for 21. So I think your third, giving me a third there is even like generous,
Generous.
actually. Yeah.
I think that the part that
Um,
you got right was that it will look significantly better than it did last time.
okay.
Like, there was that part where they did like the sweeping like mountain shot or whatever, and just you could see way more like detail that was going on than that initial
Mhm.
like gameplay reveal. So I figured like as far as like the way it's coming along, it does show more polish, which is why I was saying, okay, I'm a little like, not to say impressed, but like I'm satisfied. So like,
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
I'll take it.
So yeah, I think the release date is still holiday 2021. There's no concrete hard release date. We just saw you know, quick trailers. Um, okay, so I'll go ahead and move on to my Halo prediction. Is that we were gonna get re-reveals and deep dives of both Halo and Hellblade with hard release dates on both of them,
Damn.
and none of that happened. Like, I
Yeah,
don't consider what we got from Halo to be a deep dive.
I don't either.
And I also we had no mention of Hellblade, and yeah, so I yeah I don't know. Like, I could say that we did get a re-reveal of Halo, which is kind of like a stretch to say.
Right. The thing I wanted to mention here is that number one, this prediction was so safe that it's crazy to think that you didn't get it right, right? Hellblade 2 was literally the first Xbox Series X game that we saw. It was the first one that decided to show and focus on when they announced the console, right?
Yeah,
Now, and then we would have also. It was obvious that we are going to get a date for Halo Infinite, which we all thought, but that didn't happen either. Now, the interesting thing is that Xbox did this thing called the Xbox Conference Extended, and they released it. It happened about a week after the Xbox Conference, which that one is like does a little bit more of the things that you think they probably cut. Is basically it looks like what got cut out from the main conference. So they talk about the new like the Xbox controller design lab coming back. You can design your own Xbox controllers and stuff. They go into a little bit more detail about some of the smaller titles, like updates coming to Grounded and stuff like that. You got some little bit of some developer interviews there. It's an interesting watch. I didn't watch all of it. I kind of scrubbed through it. But in that one, they talked about Hellblade 2. However, they didn't it wasn't like, hey, like here's gameplay for Hellblade 2 or whatever, because if they had that, it would have been part of the main show. It was more like it felt like old school E3 when they're showing like, oh, look at the developer team working on it, and like the development team comes in, they show some concept art and they talk about it, like their ideas for it. I think they talked about, I can't remember right now, but I think they talked about like traveling somewhere so they could look at these environments and then know how they want to set it up in the game and etc. Which actually led me to believe, Lewis, I think that game is farther along, like
Farther
farther out
away. Yeah.
than
Damn.
we think. Yeah. It actually, we might actually, I mean, I assume we'll see it at next year's E3, but that might be like a 2023 game. Yeah.
God damn. Those bastards.
Yeah. All
um,
right.
yeah, they were like, here's a trailer for Hellblade 2, Hellblade 2, and this is all in engine, and you're starting to think, oh my god, they're
Yep.
just like they're farther along. They made you believe that this is going to be like a damn near close to launch title kind of thing.
And I have a theory about that game, by the way. I think Xbox will give them a lot of time because I think Xbox wants that game to be like the Sony game
Mm,
that they have. Like because Sony makes all these games that we talk about all the time, like Last of Us, Uncharted, like narrative driven, a third person, over the shoulder, like emotional, like action adventure. And I think that they want Ninja Theory to become that studio because I do think they have that potential. They have not gotten there yet, but they have that potential to be that studio. So I feel like Hellblade 2 is gonna take a while because of how much they wanna like
can you
they
imagine?
want they
Can you imagine
mm.
Ninja Theory being like Xbox's Naughty Dog?
I think they're gonna try to push for something kind of like that. Let's see.
Yeah.
My next Microsoft
Wait,
prediction
wait, wait,
here
wait, wait.
was
Before,
that
hold on, hold
yeah.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do we got to settle this? Is this zero or is this? Are you gonna give me a point decimal on this one?
All right, you know what? I'm okay with giving you like a point 25.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. That's very generous.
For the fact that we did hear about Hellblade in the extended conference and that we did get 2021 for Halo Infinite and we saw some of it, I'm being generous and
Okay.
giving you 20.25.
All right. Cool.
Um so my next one here, and this is where, I rule and everything. In Microsoft show, Todd Howard will introduce the full gameplay review of Starfield, which will get a release window at the end of its trailer set for 2022. I think that's a point. I think that's a full point right there. I even called that Todd Howard would be the one to introduce it.
Ah. was
Now the
that
question
was that
becomes,
gameplay? Was it gameplay? Is what we gotta
yes.
find out.
The question is, was it gameplay? Because I'm not certain. Because I kind of interpret it as gameplay, but I feel like it was in engine, like what do they call it? Like in engine footage, right, or something along those. It was in engine,
Yeah.
but it wasn't, as far as I can remember, it wasn't like I'm playing the game, I got my, the HUD and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna get at.
0.75 maybe.
At the end of okay. Yeah. Let's go with 0.75.
All right,
Especially
I'll take it.
you predicted a release window, not a concrete release date. So
That's true.
0.75.
All right.
All right. My next prediction is going to be, let's see, a major third-party game deal is signed and revealed to be coming to Game Pass day one, such as Battlefield or this year's Call of Duty. So yeah, I was expecting them to be like, "Suck it, PlayStation. We nabbed this third-party contract, and all that kind of stuff." Like there was nothing of that sort. They showed this year's Battlefield, but it's one of the only two games that they showed off that's not Game Pass day one, which is crazy because
Yeah.
everything about that E3 presentation was about Game Pass day one. So they decided to show off Battlefield, because yeah. So that's a little disappointing because I really was expecting them to be like, "Suck it."
Okay, I kind of want to go through this real quick. Like the third party games that they showed during that conference that are Game Pass
Hmm.
games, right? We got obviously all the Bethesda stuff, which that's first party now.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Yakuza Like a Dragon, that was a third party game. That was getting added to Game Pass, which you thought was already there, but wasn't. It was like the only one that wasn't there.
Okay.
Um, then coming up, we got Back for Blood. Back for Blood Day One Game Pass.
Wait, is that also
Uh,
coming to PlayStation 5 at the same time? Like, Because when I
I
made this
would
prediction,
assume so.
when I made this prediction on the idea that this is something that's going to be like coming to multiplat, and that this is day one, and then that PlayStation owners have to buy it, whereas Xbox people who already subscribe to Game Pass just download it. Like I was expecting an announcement of that type of. That was my idea for this prediction.
Okay. So do you think if Back for Blood is coming to the consoles at the same time, but it's day one Game Pass, would that count? Do you think that would count?
I would say half a point because I would say yeah half a point because what I was expecting is something like S tier as far as hype inducing, as far as an
Yeah.
established franchise. Like that's why I shouted out like imagine if this year's Assassin's Creed was day one Game
Yeah.
Pass or something like that. Like I was expecting like an established franchise that people would like Twitter about, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are
I
gonna go to
can
Twitter for Back for Blood.
Yeah, no, I get it. I feel like there were two that were pretty exciting. I was just looking at it to confirm. So Back for Blood is in fact coming to both platforms, but it will be on Game Pass day one on Xbox. And then Hades, which is already out on other platforms, but it comes out to PS4, PS5, and Xbox together, and it will be on Game Pass on the Xbox side. So I feel like both of those, maybe Stalker 2, like all of those are like they are pretty good Game Pass acquisitions over other platforms. So I kind of count them, but I agree with you that they're not the kind of like quadruple A show stealer, uh, grab that you expected. So I think half a point is fair.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
as far as Hades goes, I think it's right now it's only exclusive to Switch and PC if I'm not mistaken. So, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, half a point. I guess that's a steal for me. You know what? I'll go again just because I have more Xbox predictions here. I predicted that Starfield gameplay with holiday 2022 release window. Now that's accurate as hell because if we're gonna give us the point for gameplay, which we did for you, I said holiday 2022, which ended up being November 11th, which I think is my
Mm.
birthday. Yeah, yeah. I got to say like, is my birthday November 11th? Yeah. So 11/11/22, which is like 11/11/11, like a 10-year anniversary for Skyrim, or no, 11-year anniversary for Skyrim.
Okay, so I'm tempted not to argue this out of kindness, but you did not accept it as gameplay for me, because otherwise I would have gotten a full point. Isn't that right?
No, I mean I said that you said release window.
But you
I,
also said release window. Read your read your prediction. You said with the holiday
Holiday 20.
2022 release window.
Ah, fuck.
Now, I'm not saying you can't get a full point. I'm okay with you getting a full point. I'm just saying if you get a full point, then I should probably get a full point too.
Well, let's
Or we both get
get point
75.
75. Yeah, if we both get 75,
Yeah.
it's a wash basically.
Yeah, I
For
know.
both of us.
Yeah.
They're whatever one gets, the other gets.
I'm
So,
just trying to be fair here.
all right, 0.75 it is. All right.
All right.
You're up.
My final one was Microsoft will continue to announce partnerships and studio acquisitions. And this year, there will be a focus on Japan with games from Japanese studios coming to Xbox Game Pass and a potential purchase of a Japanese developer. So that was pretty much all wrong. However, they did show this one game, which is apparently a big deal for the weebs out there, which is the Ayuden Chronicles 100 euros. You know, which is a Japanese game, Japanese developed, and it will be Xbox exclusive, Game Pass, all that stuff. So I think the fact that they showed that game should give me something, at least something here.
0.25.
All right, I'll
All
take
right.
it.
As from the spirit of the actual prediction, though, it's definitely wrong because you were talking about a focus on Japan studios and all that stuff. There was no acquisition, there was no partnership, and also Ayuden Chronicles isn't coming to like what 2023. So it's like,
Yes. But here's the other thing too, though. Yakuza.
oh
There
yeah,
was there was
yeah,
there was
that's
some
right,
talk about Yakuza as well, which is Sega, right? So
yeah.
I'll take my 25. I'm not gonna push for more because I agree with you. Like what I was thinking is like I was thinking Phil Spencer coming in and being like, so, you know, we got our Western RPGs, right? and you know that we haven't been present in Japan that strongly or something along those lines. Like, we know we have a lot of fans of Japanese games and etc. Here's what we got for you. And then it was gonna be a thing like, hey, we're buying, like, either like we're buying Sega or something crazy, or like, every Sega game moving forward will be Game Pass day one, like something like that,
Yeah.
like, or something to kind of counteract Sony's relationship with Square Enix. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. And my final prediction for Xbox was that 12 minutes gets showcased and gets a hard release date. So I was 100% right. We was like,
Yes.
let's cut to 12 minutes for like a good minute. Let's show James McAvoy's names on screen and Willem Dafoe's name on screen, and let's put an August release date, an actual day, with Game Pass day one and all that stuff. So yes, I'm excited for the game, and I am 100% right. And to be fair to me, nobody was talking about 12 minutes going into E3. So fuck you.
I thought it was, I had a different take on this because I thought that was your easiest prediction that you did. Like, even
Really?
when you said it, I was like, that's obvious. Like, in my head, because that game has been on my radar for a while. I keep waiting for it. I feel like we see it on every show too, but I could be wrong. But I feel like we've seen it multiple times. So I was like, yeah, about time we get a release date. So that's why I even did like my other prediction, the unofficial prediction, which
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Of
I
like,
loved your
not
side
now,
prediction, but
but
yeah, you would have won
yeah.
automatically if it was like day and it's out right now. I'm like, fuck.
When 12 minutes came up, I was like, oh man, come on,
I was
give it
too.
to me.
I was too. It's like trying to hit the lotto and stuff.
Yeah. But I'm not going to take it away from you because I also did not see anybody else predict that. But my point is, when you predicted it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think it was like,
Let me just put it to you this way: the IGNs of the world wasn't talking about 12 minutes in their prediction
yes,
specials.
yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, that's why I was saying like, hey, this is under the radar. You know what I mean? This is like a yeah. So I'll go ahead and tally up the points here. So I got out of all of my Xbox predictions, I got 2.5 points. And out of your predictions for Xbox, you got 1.33 points.
Yes. So I guess you won this section.
Yeah,
However, you did do
more.
two
Yeah,
more than I did here.
yeah. So you have the ability to steal the win here based off of your other predictions because I don't have any other category. So these next three
Yeah.
are all you.
Okay, so let's try to do this quick. So first I said PlayStation will have no meaningful presence at all during E3 proper, though they'll have a state of play happening between July and September, which will be featured as part of Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. We actually don't know about any of this yet, so I feel like I can't get a point for this one way or the other.
There's rumors that
I
there's gonna be a PlayStation state of play later. Supposed to be later, like next week or whatever, is what I heard.
Yes, but next week is July, so that actually validates it. And I would get a point in that case, a retroactive point perhaps. But for now, I'm okay with just dropping this. Like, okay, I guess they did not have a presence during E3 proper, is what I said, but they did. There was Death Stranding. We did see Death Stranding there, so I guess that counts as something. That was the Death Stranding thing happened even before we did the predictions, though.
I'll give you half
Next
a point.
one.
I'll give you half a point just because of the meaningful presence part.
Okay. The next one, I said the Square Enix event will dedicate a meaningful amount of time to talk about improvements coming to Marvel's Avengers, including details on the Wakanda expansion. A new hero/expansion will be revealed, focusing on Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange. So my get hype Scarlet Witch Doctor Strange thing did not happen at all. They actually didn't show a new expansion at all. But they did talk about Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's also a 0.5 there. I don't know.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and give you half a point on that one.
When we were premiering our episode on YouTube, there was somebody in the chat. I feel like it was probably one of the folks from Level 1 Gaming. I don't remember. But they said, there's no way Square Enix even talks about Avengers or something
Yeah,
along those
I
lines.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that comment.
And I was just like, you are dead wrong. They're still making that game. They're still working on it. They're gonna try. They're gonna insist a little bit longer before they give up on that game. But anyway, and then my final one here was that Ubisoft will have a conference mostly focused on updates on their existing live service games, but they'll also give us an update release window for the Prince of Persia remake And a look at a new game featuring Splinter Cell Sam Fisher. I think this is just all wrong, actually.
The only
Because
live
I don't
service they talked about was Rainbow Six
Ass-
Siege.
Assassin's Creed as well. There was
Oh
like a new
yeah,
expansion coming to Assassin's Creed. So like that part of it, I feel like is kind of right, but um,
we didn't even
I
get.
was
They didn't even talk about Prince of Persia remake at all. I no wait. Did
not
they?
at all.
Yeah. Did they even just barely mention it?
So I watched it. I don't remember them talking about it at all, but apparently there was some info that came out like after the conference about it.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
I'm not gonna count that. So, um,
Point three.
yeah, point three. I'm happy with a point three. Let's go.
Okay. So yeah, so for that you got 1.33 on that one. So you blew me out the water on this one. Let's see. I think altogether you did about 4 point. Let me see here.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
1.33. Yeah, 4.08 points for you, and 3.5 for me. So yeah, you beat me by just over half a point.
Yeah, it was closer than I thought it was gonna be actually. Because when I was reading and I was kind of doing my like estimates, I was like, I won this easy. But you know what? With the half points and taking something out here and there, that it came out a little bit different. So we got a little bit closer together. But it was fun. I think we both did decently well, even though it's like out of 10. But a lot of the shows that I listen to with things like this, it's like they also make like 10 predictions and then they get like 1 point. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like my strategy of like breaking things down actually really worked out in my advantage because I got a lot of like partial points.
Yeah, usually I go with like not too many like partial points and stuff like that, and I usually try to be right most of the times. I feel like this might be the first time you've ever actually beat me in a predictions game, if I'm not mistaken. Because like we've done many a prediction games, both on Ready Press Play and on like a real
Mhm.
game talk, like back in 2015, and I've always blown you out the
All
water.
the way back there. I already said this before in this podcast, but I just want to bring it up again that I think it's so funny whenever I think about how we did that predictions game. And my friend CJ, shout out to him, really good friend, back in 2015, when we did that, I think it was 2015, he predicted that we were going to see Elder Scrolls 6. And 6 years later, we still have not. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder why. I actually genuinely now retroactively wonder why they decided to show a logo. Like they should not have done it at all. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I know. Yeah. So, do you want to have any like final thoughts, or just kind of move on? Like, what do you want to do?
I don't think there's really much final thoughts. I mean, yeah, the we've already sort of talked about E3 last week as far as like
Hmm.
how we were excited about it. I think overall like E3 is sort of brought the hype a little bit, but it's like the whole relevance is now coming into question. I've seen many a think pieces online that say one thing or say the other.
Yeah.
We sort of gave our take a little bit last week, and I don't necessarily want us to repeat ourselves. But
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of two minds of it. I kind of sort of see both instances of like E3 should go
Yeah.
and E3 should stay. But
I see a lot of E3 should go takes online, and I'm kind of surprised, honestly, because I was like, no, this was cool. Like, this was better than last year's. It wasn't like the best E3 ever, but it was better than last year's. So to me, it's like I want to see more of this. I want to see it get better and evolve. But and the other thing too is that I feel like both I praised the Xbox earlier, but Nintendo too, like both of them, they found a pretty good format for doing their thing. They're pretty good at it. I feel like right now they're better at it than Sony is, just in the sense that like I think Sony's still figuring out the state of place.
you know what the thing I hate about
Um,
state of plays is that Sony has yet to have an actual good state of play. So
yeah,
I just want to throw
exactly.
that out there. At least Nintendo has had one of those Year of Dreams level Nintendo
Hmm.
Directs, at least under their belt at some point. And usually, most people would agree that it was towards the beginning of the Nintendo Direct creation.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to the news. All right, so for news, we have what is it? Looks like what four headlines? That's got to be a new low for you, Dan.
Well, I some of those could even be extra news actually, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
All right. So first up, Hideo Kojima conspiracy theory ends with tears. Oh no. Silent Hill fans are seeing teases of a new game everywhere. A week ago,
Really
most.
quick,
Oh, what's up?
I disagree with the headline,
Ah,
but I just want us to get into the subject because I feel like this is like one of the most interesting subjects that's happening in the game sphere right now.
okay. All
I
right.
don't know if you want to read the article, just talk about it, or whatever.
All right, let's go with
You're
this.
hosting.
A week ago, most people didn't know that Abandon was the upcoming indie horror game for the PS5, nor that it was being made by Dutch developer Blue Box Game Studios. Now, both are at the heart of gaming's latest conspiracy theory that Metal Gear designer Hideo Kojima is secretly involved, and Abandon is actually a new Silent Hill. There's just one small hitch. Blue Box Games keeps saying that none of it is true. By the way, I remember this being a story like a long time ago during Ready Press Play's run. This might have been
Yeah,
before we even went to video, by the way, or I don't know. But
yeah, I think so.
I remember seeing like the image of like this creepy forest or whatever, kind of like what's that one PT? Yeah, PT.
Yes.
Oh look, it's even right here. Look at that. Oh my God, thank you, article.
Mhm.
The hype train started pulling out of the station on June 15th when Blue Box wrote a now deleted tweet. Guess the game, abandon equals first letter S, last letter L. Reveal closing in hashtag PS5 hashtag exclusive. Since the letters seems to be matched up with Silent Hill, started getting excited about the possibility of an impending announcement. While a social media guessing game is an unusual way to kick off the return of a big franchise. In this case, there was arguably some precedent for it. Back in 2014, a demo for a mysterious horror game called PT was released on the PlayStation Network. While the game appeared to be a high gloss project, it was made by a company nobody knew. When players completed the demo, it was revealed that PT was an elaborate announcement that Kojima and film director Guillermo del Toro were working on a Silent Hill game together. That project, along with Kojima's relationship with the Silent Hill owners Konami, ended up falling apart, but the fandom around Kojima and his fake outs has only increased. So yeah, I guess we can stop the article there here because we saw this. I remember seeing this image and stuff like that, and it's like I just wanted to go ahead and clarify here. So based off of this article, does this mean that Abandon is nothing but a working title, and there's going to be an official announcement of a game title for this game?
Yes. Yes, that starts with S and ends with L. Here's the thing. This story came back now because of that tweet, because of the tweet of the developers being like, hey, game name incoming, starts with S, ends with L. And then people are going crazy because the theories, the conspiracy theories of it being a Silent Hill game were already fueled by so many things. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole with this, Lewis, a little bit. And I recommend that you do too, because this is 100% up your alley. And I'm a believer. Like, I'm sitting right here. I know that there's a lot of judgment from either side. Like, there's people really judging the people that believe on it, being like, oh, you're just, you're setting yourself up for disappointment or whatever. It's just an indie studio making an indie game. But the amount of coincidences is like, it's not just one coincidence. It's like too many coincidences for it to not be some kind of long con. And if it is, it will be like the biggest, like most like coolest long con ever pulled off in the world of gaming, I think. Because here's the thing. This game, Lewis, is being directed by a game developer that apparently nobody knows in real life that exists online, whose initials are HK.
Yeah, Hideo
It's like some
Kojima.
other
Yeah,
name. It's like
yeah,
Hassan something else. I can't
yeah.
remember like how to pronounce some Turkish name. Apparently, if you put one of the names, like either the first name or the last name, on Google Translate, it translates to Kojima or to Hideo, or Hideo actually specifically. Then you got the S and the L thing. There's so many number stuff going on as well. Like there are numbers that can be seen in the trailer that are connected with the lore of sorry,
Yeah, I hear the
there's
car.
some kind of background,
I heard the
but
car or
anyway.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry about that, listeners. But there's numbers in the trailer that apparently connect to numbers that exist within the Silent Hill universe and stuff like that. So I am not familiar with all the lore, but the point is there's a lot of shit in here indicating that this game might in fact be either it's like Silent Hill or it's at least associated with Kojima, like one or the other or both. It's hard to imagine how that could happen though after Kojima's falling off with Konami, but with Sony involved, I feel like they could maybe make it happen.
You know, it's kind of interesting, Dan. I'm the conspiracy theory guy, and I am actually kind of lukewarm on this. I've actually
Oh
heard
yeah.
about this story before taping this, and I even saw like something on IGN where covered this very story, and then they were like, here's the actual guy, and like, he's on camera, and he's like, guys, it's not. I'm not. This is not a Silent Hill project. So I sort of want to believe whoever like that guy is, like that guy's name, and he's like HK or whatever. I think it was like IGN covered it on like a Daily Fix or something like that. So yeah, I don't buy it. I just think that it's just some indie developer making a cool ass game and he got sucked up in the hype somehow, some way, just by pure coincidence. Is how I'm sort of seeing it. But there is one thing that I will like concede is that the idea that there's numbers associated with the this thing, because one of the things that people don't know is that there was like a hidden coda, like numbers, like this letter equals this number, or vice versa, like this number equals this letter with PT, and so if they're doing the same thing here, then it's just like, okay, that's a coincidence right there. I can't necessarily disregard that. But yeah, just throwing that out there. All right. So with that,
I just disabled my microphone for a little bit because I'm almost kind of scared about this. It literally sounds like there's somebody with a chainsaw like right next door to me somehow, like cutting through wood or something. So I am sorry about this making it into my audio, but let's just keep going.
all right. So the next story is regarding Pete Hines and Starfield, just like what we were just talked about during the prediction special here. So Pete Hines on Starfield frustrations. I'm not apologizing for exclusivity, but rather expressing empathy. Interesting. Okay. Hines clarifies what exactly he's sorry for. So it's an update to the article. Bethesda SVP Pete Hines clarified his recent comments regarding Starfield Xbox's console exclusivity on Twitter, emphasizing that he simply doesn't like to see fans upset. I'm not apologizing for exclusivity, Hines said in a reply to one Bethesda fan and asking why he felt the need to make any sort of apology. I don't have to do anything. Some of our fans are upset/angry, and I'm sorry that they are. This isn't wrong or weird. It's acknowledging how they feel. That is it. That's my whole point. In an earlier tweet, Hines noted that it's okay to acknowledge and feel bad for people who are upset or angry, regardless of whether you did anything wrong or not. I'm not simply expressing empathy. In his initial apologetic comments, which you can read for yourself below, Hines maintained that a business is business tone and never implied that Bethesda or Xbox were somehow in the wrong for steering Starfield in this direction. Studio head Todd Howard has also repeatedly stressed that focusing on PC and Xbox will ultimately lead to a better product for those looking forward to the game. I think I will stop it right there. That was the whole update to the story, anyways. But the story itself is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. So this is an interesting little take here because I don't know. Like for me personally, like I wasn't really interested in the game to begin with, so I don't really care. But number two, if you were gonna get this game anyways, I wouldn't want to pay $70 on PlayStation. Instead, I would just rather download it on Xbox. But I'm also one of the kind of guys that owns both consoles anyways, so it doesn't really matter to me. So I don't feel strongly one way or the other. And also I don't really empathize with crybabies on Twitter anyways. Dan, what's your take?
I feel like the interesting question here is like, did Pete Hines owe anybody an apology? Because I thought that was kind of weird. Like that's kind of what's like the story was about, like him coming out and being like, "Hey, to our PlayStation fans, I'm sorry that he can't play Starfield on PlayStation." And he said something akin to like, "It's not my decision." And then later he tried to clarify it and like PR speaking and stuff, but he kind of gave the impression that perhaps, and this is just a perhaps, Bethesda's interest was to put this game on a lot of different platforms, but that they were just told not to by Xbox, which is expected and is what Sony would have done. But I just think like it's kind of like it's not even like that crazy as a story, but it's an interesting story because I can't imagine Neil Druckmann saying like, "Hey, like I would like to apologize to Xbox fans that The Last of Us will not be on Xbox." You know what I mean? Um, but cool. I get where he's coming from. Um, but yeah, I don't necessarily think he owed anybody an apology. It's not um like he said, it's not his decision. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like the whole purpose of them, like, touting is like, oh yeah, they're now part of the Xbox family, but they're totally independent. We're not gonna do it now. That's cap. All right, that's all lies. Anyways, I don't know. I wonder if there was a situation where like Todd Howard could be like, tell Phil Spencer he can suck it. We're going on PlayStation. I don't know. Do you think that's
Of
even
course
possible?
not. No, they're he is in some way or another he's their boss now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you don't do that to your boss unless you're ready to quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know.
besides, I will say another thing here. I have a feeling that as much as I just said that Bethesda wants to be on all platforms, I have a feeling that Bethesda is like, all right about it because when you look at their games have always been like Xbox first. Like their games have always been made for Xbox, then like ported to PlayStation.
Yes.
And for that reason, usually PlayStation kind of takes the shittier version of the games anyway. So I feel like I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense. There is a history there.
Do you think he's right though that it's going to lead to a better product because now you're only working on like basically essentially two SKUs, PC and Xbox?
If I say that, I'm gonna be a hypocrite with things that I've said before in this podcast. So I'm gonna refrain from commenting.
All right.
Maybe.
All right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next story here. Cyberpunk 2077 is back on the PlayStation Store. CD Projekt Red is still warning of performance issues on the PS4 version. Those bastards. Okay. As promised, let's see here. There you go. As promised, Sony has restored Cyberpunk 2077 on the PlayStation Store following two major patches. For now, developer CD Projekt Red is recommending players to stick to the PlayStation 4 Pro and PS5 versions of the game, as the base PS4 still has some, quote, performance issues, close quote. It's also reiterated that the free next gen upgrade will land in the second half of the year. So there's a tweet that says the exact same thing. The Polish studio will be hoping that the game's return to the PS storefront marks the end of a notoriously troubled chapter in its 27-year history. Cyberpunk 2077 suffered a botched launch back in December, with users complaining of numerous bugs and crashes. Sony reacted by swiftly pulling the game from its digital store and offering customers refunds. Over the following months, CD Projekt Red has released numerous hotfixes and two large game patches, though the second was delayed after it suffered from a ransomware attack that left some employees unable to access their computers. In spite of the issues, Cyberpunk went on to become the studio's top game with over 13.7 million copies sold by the end of 2020. So yeah, go ahead, take it over, Dan.
Well, the game's back, right? Like we kept wondering, like, oh, is that still out? Like, can you still not buy that game on the PlayStation Store? But I guess more than 6 months later, it's finally back on. I'm assuming, from my understanding, they did some fixes to it, but I believe the base PS4 version of the game is still pretty close to not being playable or in a good state, right? Which is why they're maintaining that warning. I just kind of wonder. I think it's interesting that there's no way to kind of limit the purchase of the game to PS4 Pro. Like, and I I think Sony should have thought about this when they released the PS4 Pro, as in giving games the ability to release for only one SKU of the console. You know what I
A
mean?
new 3DS exclusive.
Yeah. Because then this game, even if this was the only one that used it, you know what I mean? It feels like a good enough reason to have that, and it surprises me that Sony never really had that, and now they're almost being required to have this game be available to all PS4 owners, even though the people that play it on the base PS4 will probably still get a subpar experience.
I'm
But at the end of
surprised.
the day,
I'm surprised that this is wasn't pulled from like the Xbox One store. Like I'm surprised that they didn't do a
yeah,
situation where it's like this game can't run on a VCR Xbox, so we're not going to let you play it there or something like that, or we recommend that you don't play it there. That kind of stuff.
I have a theory of why they didn't, by the way,
Oh yeah, what's that?
because during the time frame that Cyberpunk was out of the PlayStation Store, Cyberpunk was an Xbox exclusive. You know, so I mean it though. Like I think Microsoft benefited from the fact that they had the game and PlayStation didn't.
I don't know if they
You know, 'cause-
benefited. Like the person who end user bought it just is gonna like get a terrible experience if you're playing on the Xbox One S or Xbox One.
yeah.
But
But they would have gotten the 30% off of that terrible experience as opposed to Sony.
zero, yeah,
That's kind of what
yeah,
I'm trying to get at. Like if anybody had the option, like maybe they had a PS4 and an Xbox One, or maybe like an Xbox One S or X and then like a PS4, like that for those people they bought it on the Xbox. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Fair enough. Uh, Shout out to all the people that bought the Xbox One X Cyberpunk limited edition console.
that's true.
So funny. Anyways, yeah, it's just basically an admission that the PS4 is the original base PS4 is trash, which is really a terrible thing to say, especially when we have like Ghost of Tsushima running on the base PS4. But whatever. Anyways, moving on. PAX West, aka I still like to call it PAX Prime because it's always going to be PAX Prime in my heart. PAX West 2021 is confirmed to be an in-person event with safety precautions detailed. With vaccinations continuing to roll out, PAX West 2021 will be among the gaming events returning to offer in-person community celebrations. Not only will the event be returning in a more familiar form outside of a digital alternative, but ReedPop has also detailed safety precautions that are being implemented for those planning on attending. PAX West 2021 will be returning to the Washington State Convention Center in Seattle, Washington, from Friday, September 3rd through Monday, September 6th. Badges for the upcoming convention will be going on sale in the next 2 weeks, with options to get PAX Online 2021 access as well. PAX Online will be taking place on Thursday, July 15th through Sunday, July 18th. Leading up to PAX West, ReedPop has canceled 6 consecutive in-person events. Now that we are dipping our toes back into any sort of normalcy, ReedPop wants to ensure gamers that it's also taking safety precautions seriously. This means both health patterns will be tracked. This means health patterns will be tracked and a reduced event capacity number has been implemented. More detailed precautions are coming at a later date. Quote, it has been almost 2 years since the last PAX West, and it's been surreal to imagine its triumphant return, said Jerry Holkins, co-founder of Penny Arcade and PAX. I can't think of a better excuse to leave the house than PAX West. For those excited for a little bit more of a competitive experience, PAX Arena is partnering with Metro Esports for a special Valorant Amateur Open tournament. Okay. So I'm going to skip on to the part where it says, for those interested in taking part in PAX West this year, 4-day badges for the general public will run $230, with individual day options running at $60 a pop. For media and content creator applications, those are now available at PAX Online, for PAX Online East until June 30th, with PAX West applications following short after. So now that I'm with Level 1 Gaming, by the way, Level 1 Gaming actually has like media badges to these kind of events and stuff like that. They've been to a PAX South as media before. So I can't wait to finally go to my first convention as media. It's going to be so awesome. And
Cool, cool.
I'm not sure though if I'm gonna be going to like PAX West or whatever. Like, even though I'm vaccinated, like I'm not necessarily in the mood to be going to conventions. Even in
Yeah.
non-pandemic times, convention people get sick at conventions. Like they catch a fever, or a cold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and something that I've been thinking about in regards to that is like we've been kind of sheltered for a while. I wonder if we're now more likely to catch something like a convention flu or something, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because we have not been, building immunity as much throughout our lives. I don't know if that makes any sense because I'm not a doctor, but I do wonder if there's going to be a thing there where like suddenly things are back to normal and then people get the flu, like there's a new wave of like everybody getting the flu or something. But yeah, this is like the first gaming convention I think coming back in person. It's happening this year. It's happening in, I think it was September, right?
hmm
And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to it either, but just wanted to throw it out there.
yeah. I don't know. Like, it just seems very. How do I put this? It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's a time yet. It's also kind of interesting that I think PAX East was the last in-person convention in February of last year before like all conventions got canceled, right?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny that they were like the last to go, and now they're probably going to be the first to go, assuming that like, Well, actually, no. Comic Con has already been announced as Comic Con at Home this year, if I'm not mistaken. So at least until Comic Con, like in October, I guess. So yeah, they'll be the first to go. So hopefully they'll kind of sort of test the viability of conventions and whether or not they're worth doing. And maybe we can hear stories about whether or not people do or don't get sick and stuff like that, and they can say, hey, it's, we're back, and it's safe
Yeah.
to do so. Um, but yeah, I'm also kind of like concerned as well, like in the sense that like I want to go to an in-person Smash tournament like Super Smash Con, in August, presumably if there's gonna be a Smash Con. So who knows? We'll go ahead and move on to the extra news, and we'll go. And actually, we have 2 weeks worth of extra news since we scrapped last week's extra news. So we'll go ahead and start off with number one. Says here, Turtle Rock confirmed that Back for Blood 4 is an always online game and does not support offline play, even for players playing solo. What the fuck? Those bastards. How dare they?
To be honest, I never play Left 4 Dead without being online, I guess, or like even when I'm playing, like if I play just with bots, I would be like in my computer on the internet. So I don't think it's really going to be an issue, but yeah.
I mean, like, I played Left 4 Dead, like, split screen. You know what I mean? Like, that's so terrible.
Good point.
Yeah. Games number two. GameStop has managed to cash in on its recently skyrocketed meme stock, pulling in $1.1 billion. There you go. So this, in case you don't know this is a Austin Powers reference, which I know you haven't seen Austin Powers.
Yes.
So there you go. If you want to know more about that, watch Ready Play Movies.
Good plug.
Yes. Number three. Epic Data, a website that tracks database updates for the Epic Game Store, has revealed the existence of an Alan Wake remaster. Okay, dope. Number four, a new Fallout 4 DLC mod. A new Fallout 4 DLC sized mod called Fallout London has been announced, bringing the series to a location outside of the United States. Number five, Death Stranding's director's cut confirmed as PS5 exclusive with new stealth mechanics added. That was an E3 announcement. No, that was not an E3. That was a Summer of Gaming announcement with what's his name, Jeff Keighley at his thing, right?
They showed a trailer for it, but they didn't confirm what it was or whether it was like a PS5 exclusive or what. Like that information came later, which is why I added it in here. But yeah.
Okay. Number six, Bitcoin crackdown sends graphics card prices plummeting in China after Sichuan terminated mining operations. Cool. Number seven, Call of Duty Warzone Season 4 has a bug door that instantly kills players. What the okay, what? Number eight, Paris-based Cyber Group Studios has inked a deal with Square Enix to adapt Final Fantasy IX as an animated series for 8 to 13-year-olds. Okay. Number nine, the Sega-published anime game Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles, is coming to North America and Europe this October. There you go. Good job on me for those Japanese pronouncing ass stuff right there.
Yeah,
so.
Good job. Proud of you, Lewis.
Number 10, presenting Windows 11 as the best Windows ever for gaming, Xbox Corporate Vice President Sarah Bond appeared on Microsoft's live stream to announce that Xbox Game Pass will be built right into Windows 11. I've seen a headline that says that Windows 11 might be able to run Android apps. So.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, interesting.
And last week's extra news that we skipped out on. Number one, Rockstar announced that a GTA Online for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 will shut down on December 16th, 2021. Those bastards. But really, who's surprised, though? Number two.
Yeah, I know.
Number two, Elden Ring director Miyazaki told Famitsu that the game will be easier, more friendly to newcomers, but still with no difficulty options. Okay. Number three, the Xbox Mini Fridge confirmed for holiday 2021 release. Number four, Resident Evil's live-action Netflix series cast Lance Reddick as Wesker. And number five, Netflix Cuphead show cast Wayne Brady as King Dice. That's an interesting stuff right there. So Dan, we have a shit ton of extra news to react to. What do you want to talk about?
Nothing. Also, you know what I want to react to? The fact that we are live on Twitch right now while recording this podcast.
Holy shit. How the hell did that happen? Did I actually click? Oh yeah, look at
Yeah.
that. I clicked
Yeah.
I clicked stream 13 minutes ago somehow, some ways. I'm gonna hit that stop stream button right there. Bye
Okay, you
li-
can keep us up. I don't care. By live audience, if there's anybody watching.
Yeah, I don't have any
I just
notifications that indicates any viewers. So you know what? I'm gonna just stop
yeah.
streaming. See, it's a live viewers. You guys get a little sneak peek of Ready Press Play this week. There we go.
I will just throw out there that I was very surprised that there's a new Fallout 4 DLC coming out. The game is 6 years old now. I didn't think there was any support for it anymore. I thought the focus right now from Bethesda was in Fallout 76 and in, Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 eventually, maybe. I did not expect them to put together some DLC for that game. But that was the thing. That was the thing. And it was also announced not during E3, but like the week after. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's really nothing to react to here on this X News. I just went back and reread all the headlines and stuff like that. The only thing I want to just say is that the Xbox mini fridge looks cool as fuck. I liked it.
Yes.
It looks so awesome. The way they had it like framed in the shot, when it's kind of sort of like zoomed out kind of thing, it almost kind of looks like a real Xbox, just like proportional and everything. And then they're like, oh, and it opens, and then you can put your sodas in there. It looks like one of those mini fridges only good for sodas, for soda cans, which I was kind of
Yeah.
hoping that it would be more practical because whatever. But maybe now you can put your Mountain Dews in there.
I would love to get it if I didn't already have a mini fridge.
Yeah, I already have.
Well,
I already have a mini fridge as well, so yeah.
I guess I could sell mine.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to before we move on, I just want to say I don't know what happened 18 minutes ago, but we only streamed for 18 minutes, so we weren't streaming the whole time. So
Oh, okay.
just
All
throwing that
right.
out there. All right, let's go ahead and move on.
Check this out.
Yes. So for check this out this week, we're actually just going to show you real quick some Mario and Luigi Lego supports co-op now. So there we go.
Did you see this?
Yeah,
There's-
I saw the Lego Luigi, but I didn't know about the co-op thing. So what does this mean?
So there's a video. I actually don't know if the video is up there. So like you can just play the video for like 30 seconds. But this looks really like interesting. It's almost like you can play like that's what I was kind of surprised about and why I thought it was interesting. It's like you can play Super Mario Brothers by playing with the Lego set and like interacting with the things and like make levels and stuff. And I'm not sure if I fully understood it by the video, but it seems like there's some like interesting technology in there. So just kind of wanted to give it a shout out. I remember we talked about this when it was first shown like a long time ago. They're still adding more stuff to it and functionality and etc. So it might be something for people to look into if you have kids or you're just like a collector that likes this kind of stuff.
This is the most extra trailer I've ever seen in like ever.
I know.
You get professional kid dancers
I know.
doing choreographed ass dances and stuff. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't really have so much to say, but it looks cool though. Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and just move on. All right, Dan, it's time for you to take over the show. So here we go.
What are you buying?
All right, so for new releases, we got Mario Golf Super Rush coming out on June 25th, so the day this episode drops. Hit the green with up to 4 players locally or online and golf with familiar Mushroom Kingdom characters. Modes range from standard golf to the energetic speed golf and an RPG-like golf adventure in story mode. Intuitive motion or button controls, a shot gauge that adapts to the curve of the course, and other new features make it easy for both new players and seasoned pros to drive and put with power. Enroll your Mii character in golf training in a prestigious country club and go from rookie to pro. You face off against your Mushroom Kingdom classmates and earn experience points. Level up to improve your character's stats like power, movement, and spin. You can bring your character and the customized stats into other modes too. Then, in the same day, June 25th, we got Scarlet Nexus coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I wanted to shout out this game because I saw some presence of this at E3. They spent some time on it on the extended showcase for Xbox. Seems interesting. Take on the role of Yuito Sumeragi, a new recruit to the OSF aiming to become an elite psionic like the one who saved him as a child. Armed with a talent in psychokinesis, explore futuristic New Himika and uncover the mysteries of a brain-punk future caught between technology and psychic abilities in Scarlet Nexus. Using psychokinetic abilities, the world around you becomes your greatest weapon. Lift, break, and throw pieces of your environment to build your attack combos, form bonds with your team members to access their powers, and enhance your attacks for extreme damage and efficiency. Then aside from that, we've got a lot of games coming to new platforms. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to the Switch on June 25th. Destroy All Humans is coming to the Switch on June 29th. Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny is coming to the Switch on June 29th. Sky Children of the Light coming to the Switch as well on June 29th. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on June 30th. That one is like a what are they called? Like a visual novel that was very popular on Steam, and I heard really good things about. Apparently, it's one of those games that you download thinking it's going to be one thing, and then it turns out to be something else. There's some plot twists in there. Seems cool.
I've seen a lot of game theory on it, and yes, it gets crazy. It's very meta.
Now, I believe those two are new games. Curved Space coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on June 29th. And then Spirit of the North coming to Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One on June 29th. I bet Lewis is very happy with me for not following the order, just going around.
I know. I was like,
Talking about whatever.
yeah, I was. I don't know if you saw one on my screen, but I'm literally like shuffling around, and I'm like, you bastard. Did you want to talk about the crossplay or no?
Oh yeah, let's say that. Crossplay is now live in Overwatch, and there's also a new event called the Ash event. I don't play a lot of Overwatch, so I don't really know much about this, but you might want to go check that out.
Okay.
Lewis, pick of the week. I'm guessing you're gonna give it to Mario Golf.
Yeah, but I am gonna give it to Mario Golf, but I also saw some reviews that just sort of put the game at a little over mediocre. So, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that too.
All right. Go ahead and move on.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
So we got a few things for our Broke Gamers Guide here this week. We're going to start with the free games at the Epic Games Store like we always do. And the free games this week are Hyperscape from Ubisoft Montreal. Oh, wait. I am sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Hyperscape is a free-to-play game. There we go. For some reason, whenever I open this website, it takes like forever to load, and sometimes it loads like it's almost like it loads from like the bottom to the top. So that was in this page as well. But let's go. Horizon Chase Turbo and Sonic Mania are free right now, and the Spectrum Retreat is expected to be free next week. So I know for sure we were given this Horizon Chase Turbo game for free in some other platform before, Lewis. I said last week that I thought it was PlayStation Plus. I'm not sure. Maybe it was Xbox, but I've seen this game be given away free before. It's like a racing game, kind of cartoony, cel shaded looking. And then we know Sonic Mania, the ultimate celebration of past and future, an all new adventure full of unique bosses, rolling 2D landscapes, and fun classic gameplay. Sonic Mania brings retro fast-paced platforming into the future through pixel-perfect 2D graphics running at 60 FPS. That was apparently a really good game. I heard really good things about it. I don't remember. I don't think I ever tried it.
I tried it. I liked it. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Cool.
I have it on the Switch, and also I got it free on PlayStation Plus later on.
So I probably own. I think I own it on PS Plus. Yeah, on PlayStation. We got some new games coming to Xbox Game Pass as well. There's always new stuff coming out every week. This week we got Worms Rumble coming to Cloud Console and PC today. Iron Harvest coming to PC on June 24th, so already out by the time you're listening to this. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered coming to console and PC, also already out. Proteus coming to PC, also already out. Then on July 1st, we're going to get Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, Gang Beasts, Immortal Realms, Vampire Wars, and then Limbo. And I'm pretty sure, it looks like all of those are coming to Cloud Console and PC.
So I just wanted to say that my friend recommended a long time ago that I should buy Gang Beasts, and I'm glad I never bought
Oh,
it
yeah?
because now I can just download it.
There we go. And then we got, plenty of games leaving Xbox Game Pass, like is always the case. But this one kind of hurts a little bit. This one has some big guns here. On June 30th, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is leaving Game Pass. Monster Hunter World is leaving Game Pass. Outer Wilds is leaving Game Pass. Soul Calibur 6 and The Messenger are leaving Game Pass.
Wow. Outer
So
Wilds
I feel like
is crazy.
all of those like that I mentioned are kind of like big. So
Yeah, like Outer
um,
Wilds is like that's like they were talking about Outer Wilds 2 for Game Pass, on like
nope, 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 nope.
no?
You're mixing them up. There's Outer Wilds and there's Outer
Oh
Worlds.
god damn it.
Yes.
Is Outer Wilds
So
the one with the
Outer
spider where it's like you're the spider there's like an arachnophobia mode or am I thinking of something
Nope,
else?
that's Grounded. Okay,
Whatever.
so Outer Wilds is an Annapurna interactive game about exploring space.
Ah.
It's and it was like it was talked about in high regard in 2019 alongside the Outer Worlds, which is an Obsidian third-person RPG.
Also, don't put
So,
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite in that same category, by the way. That game was trash. Just throw
oh,
that out
okay.
there.
I didn't know that specific game. I just know it's Marvel vs. Capcom, so I thought it was something that you would probably be excited about. All right. No two shout outs here as far as sales go. We got some sale going on at Walmart, so lots of physical games are on sale there. We got some of their arcade cabinets are on sale as well. You can get those for $400. I'm not sure how much they usually go for, but a lot of games that are typically $60 are now $40, including the Switch exclusives: Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion 3, Super Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and then also some PS5 games. Sackboy is $40, normally retails for $60. Demon Souls is $50, down from $70. Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4 is $40, etc. So if you're looking for some physical games, plenty of options there, and this Walmart sale.
I think I might buy Sackboy simply because I was on my to-do list.
And the final thing here is that the summer sale has been kicked off on Steam. I'm just going to go through the headliners here that they have on their main page. Battlefield 5 is currently $12.49. Valheim is $17.99. And Halo, the Master Chief Collection, is $19.99. But they got plenty of other games. I see MK11 also on sale, Sekiro on sale, Persona 5 Strikers on sale. So if you're a PC gamer, good time to go on the Steam store and buy a bunch of games that you're never going to play.
Hey, look at that. Scarlet Nexus is right. Wait, what? Scarlet Nexus is not a sale, but whatever. What? That's. Oh, this is just top sellers. Okay. I was just looking at the top seller category, but yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right.
And
I guess
on
that's
that
it.
note, Lewis, I give the show back to you to take us home because I got to be out.
All right. Here we go. It is time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Press Play. Remember, you can reach the podcast at ReadyPlayNetwork.com or simply at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88 and Dan.
At Dan Lima.
So don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, tell your friends about the show, and all that good stuff. Peace.
Bye bye.